Have you ever felt like one mistake ruins everything? Like you're a total failure just because something didn't go as planned? If you have, then you need to hear the story of Ravi, a young carpenter from a small town. Ravi had a deep passion for woodworking. He could spend hours in his shop, surrounded by the scent of pine and sawdust, crafting beautiful chairs, sturdy tables, and intricate shelves. He poured his heart and soul into every piece he made. But there was a problem. Despite his skill and dedication, his shop remained stubbornly empty. People would walk by, glance at his work, and keep walking. His creations, which he saw as masterpieces, just gathered dust. It was disheartening, and Ravi started to doubt his own abilities. Determined to prove his worth, not just to the town but to himself, Ravi came up with a grand idea. He decided he would build the most magnificent ladder the town had ever seen. It would be tall, strong, and a testament to his craftsmanship. He imagined it standing proudly in front of his shop, a symbol of what he was truly capable of, drawing in customers from far and wide. For 3 intense days and nights, Ravi worked tirelessly. He selected the finest wood, feeling its grain and weight. He measured each piece with a surgeon's precision. He cut, sanded, and polished every single step until it was smooth as silk. He assembled it all with care, ensuring every joint was secure. Finally, it was finished. A beautiful, heavy, and impressive ladder stood before him. It was more than just a ladder, it was his hope, his ambition, all carved into wood. With a surge of pride, Ravi carried the ladder outside. This was the moment. He positioned it in front of his shop, ready to stand it up for the world to see. But as he lifted its considerable weight, his grip faltered for just a second. The ladder slipped, and with a sickening crack, one of the steps splintered. Ravi froze. The sound echoed in the quiet street, but it was loudest in his own head. His heart sank, feeling as broken as that single wooden step. All that work, all that hope, shattered in an instant. Why? He muttered to himself, his voice thick with despair. Why does everything I touch just break? He slumped down onto the dusty ground, defeated, staring blankly at the crack. It seemed to mock him, a glaring symbol of his failure. People passed by his shop, their footsteps a constant reminder of his isolation. Some glanced at the dejected carpenter and his flawed ladder, but no one stopped. In Ravi's mind, that one little crack had rendered the entire ladder, and his entire effort, completely worthless. He felt invisible, a failure hiding in plain sight. Hours crawled by. The sun began to set, casting long shadows that mirrored the gloom in Ravi's heart. Just as he was about to give up and drag the useless ladder back inside, an old man, leaning on a walking stick, paused in front of his shop. He had kind eyes that seemed to see more than just a broken ladder. You look troubled, son, the old man said gently. What happened? At first, Ravi didn't want to talk. What was the point? But something about the man's calm presence made him open up. He poured out his story: the empty shop, the grand idea for the ladder, the days of hard work, and the final, crushing moment of failure with the cracked step. He explained how he felt cursed, how everything he tried seemed to end in disappointment. The old man listened patiently, nodding now and then. When Ravi finished, a wide smile spread across his face. Come with me, he said, his voice surprisingly firm. Ravi, having nothing left to lose, slowly got up and followed him. They walked around to the back of the shop, to a quiet space where a massive, ancient banyan tree stood. Its roots were thick and gnarled, and its branches spread out like a giant, protective canopy. Against the wall, under the shade of the tree, stood a tall, impressive set of wooden shelves. They were strong, perfectly balanced, and clearly made with great skill. The old man pointed a shaky finger at the shelves. Who made these? He asked. Ravi looked at them, a flicker of recognition in his eyes. I did, he mumbled. He had almost forgotten about them. Are they broken? The old man pressed. No, Ravi admitted. They were perfect. Then why, the old man said, turning to look directly at Ravi. Do you say everything you touch breaks? The question hit Ravi with the force of a physical blow. It was so simple, yet so profound. He blinked, stunned into silence. He had been so focused on the cracked step, on his most recent failure, that he had completely forgotten about his many successes, like those strong, beautiful shelves. The old man continued, his voice soft but clear. Look at this banyan tree, he said, gesturing towards the majestic giant. Every year, hundreds, maybe thousands of leaves turn yellow and fall to the ground. But does the tree stop growing? Does it wither and die because one leaf fell? Ravi shook his head. The answer obvious. Exactly, the old man said. A broken step doesn't mean the whole ladder is useless. And a failed moment doesn't mean you are a failure. It's just a part of the process, a leaf falling from the tree. A spark ignited within Ravi. It was a small spark, but it was warm and bright. He looked from the old man to the banyan tree, and then back to his shop. He finally understood. His perspective had been all wrong. He was judging his entire existence by his broken moments, ignoring all the sturdy, beautiful things he had created. With a newfound sense of purpose, Ravi thanked the old man and walked back to the front of his shop. He looked at the ladder differently now. He didn't see a failure, he saw a challenge. He saw an opportunity to make it even better. He carefully removed the cracked step. It took some effort, but he worked with a steady hand. He then went back to his workbench, found a new piece of wood, and began to shape it. He measured, cut, and polished it with the same care as before, maybe even more. He fixed the new step into place, ensuring it was secure and strong. It took time, but when he was done, the ladder looked flawless, even better than before. The repair was invisible, a testament to his resilience. The next morning, Ravi placed the restored ladder in front of his shop, but this time, he felt a quiet confidence instead of desperate hope. Soon, a farmer on his way to the market happened to walk by. He stopped, his eyes wide with admiration. Now that's a strong-looking ladder, the farmer exclaimed, running a hand over the smooth wood. Exactly what I need for my barn. How much is it? Within minutes, the ladder was sold. As the farmer walked away with his purchase, Ravi held the payment in his hand, but the real treasure was the lesson he had learned. He realized something incredibly powerful that day. So many of us get stuck because we define ourselves by our broken moments. We let a single crack, a single failure, convince us that the entire ladder is useless, that we are useless. But growth, real growth, doesn't come from avoiding mistakes. It comes from facing them, fixing them, learning from them, and continuing to climb. So, the moral of Ravi's story is this: one failure does not define you or your future.